I want to talk to you about removal services, data removal services, and I want to really do a quick compare and contrast between Kanary, Privacy Bee, and DeleteMe. And those are pretty prominent personal data removal services. And so here are the removal services I want you to think about. First of all, let me start with with Kanary. So Kanary actually does a great job when it comes to taking your data out of the internet, and but it does so gradually. It doesn't do it automatically. It doesn't do it like overnight. It takes like a minimum of 3 to 6 months before you can see some actual results. Okay, so with Kanary, the cool thing you're gonna love is that you have a transparent data policy. So that's kind of cool. You have a platform that really helps you remove your name, your data, from 300 to 400, let's say, sites, and you have a very easy to use dashboard. So that's kind of cool. Now, on the flip side, the thing you have to really be aware of is that when you actually go through a Kanary, you actually have some advanced functions that are a little difficult to access. You could actually use a tutorial to get new users up to speed. So there's a little bit of a learning curve when you actually consider Kanary, and also some file removals take a lot of time and require customer input. So that's something you need to think about. One thing for sure, if you are looking for a reputable personal data removal service, think about Kanary. Okay, and you have a platform that allows you to really have a clear idea what's happening in terms of your data. So working with Kanary is pretty straightforward. You'll be asked to sign in through Google or create an account to start. No problem so far. And next, you will be asked to provide Kanary with a little piece of information about what you would like removed. So it's like, your first name, last name, or whatever the data is. Okay, that's important to really think about that. And also, you have the possibility to really specify what kind of data you want removed in the first place. So that's kind of cool from a flexibility point of view. That's really good. And so signing up with Kanary is pretty straightforward. Once you have created your free account, you'll be taken to your dashboard. And Kanary's first priority is to clean up your Google results, a scan that will take probably 10 minutes to 1 day, depending on the complexity of your data. So when you think about Kanary, what kind of pricing should you be looking at? What are the costs here? So you can see on the screen here. Here is a pricing for Kanary as of the date of this show. Okay, so you have the starter plan, the free trial. You have the premium yearly. So at the prices you're showing here, those are billed annually. So you have the premium yearly and you have the premium monthly. So you can see that it's a lot better to go with the premium yearly, even though Kanary is only giving you a 12% off. It's still something, okay? And so the cool thing is whatever plan you are on, you can actually instruct Kanary to have on-demand scans, automatic scans every 30 days. You can have unlimited names, addresses, emails, phone numbers, and birthdays. And the cool thing is you have this 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have a possibility to actually see if you like the service or not. Okay, and with Kanary, you have a lot of data storage policies that you will love in terms of the sophistication of the policies. Like you have Kanary does a great job when it comes to protecting your data, storing your data, retaining your data. Okay, so that's kind of cool. You are able to also categorize things that you want to have, whether you want to tell Kanary to actually continue the work, or you want them to stop in certain in a certain direction. So Kanary overall can help automate the removal of your personal information from more than 300 to 400 data brokerages and people finder sites. Okay, so and Kanary does a great job. Now, is it worth it to pay nearly $20 a month for such a service? Well, it really depends on what your priorities are and what kind of data you want Kanary to actually remove from the internet, right? Because but please remember, the Kanary will start with Google, and then they will move to Bing, and then they might also move to Yahoo. Okay, so they always start with Google being the most prominent, 80% of the market when it comes to search engines, and then they'll go to Bing, and then Yahoo. And in some cases, they might go to a third-party other browsers as well, other algorithms such as .net. So something to really think about. I want to talk to you now about Privacy Bee. Again, we are still having a conversation about Kanary versus Privacy Bee versus DeleteMe, and this is a quick compare and contrast between personal data removal services. And when you think about Privacy Bee, I want you to think about efficiency. I want you to think about optimization. Okay, so that's really important. So Privacy Bee costs a pretty penny, but the quality of the services is really undeniable and makes the price worth it, especially if you want to look at the range of coverage, the dashboard, and other features that really will put Privacy Bee at another level. So what are the pros and cons here? When you think about Privacy Bee, I want you to think about 400 to 500 data brokers that the service goes through. You have a useful dashboard and controls. So from a UX perspective and a UI perspective, you will be pleased at what Privacy Bee actually offers. You have a tool that's really quick and simple to use, and you have a privacy manifesto, which is really a nice touch when you think about it. Okay. The only thing is that Privacy Bee is right now is only U.S. exclusive, so they have not actually expanded to the rest of the world yet. So they're not available in Europe, they're not available in Africa, they're not available in Asia, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, okay. But what I wanted to say is that signing up to Privacy Bee is pretty straightforward, nothing really complicated, okay. And so you are able to get things done a lot faster. So basically, they'll ask for your first name, last name, okay, and they'll ask you for a few. They'll never ask you for your social though. They'll never ask you for your social. So first name, last name, some of your past addresses. So pretty straight stuff. By the way, in terms of Privacy Bee pricing and plans, I want you to look on the screen here. So Privacy Bee is actually sending you back $197 per year. So you have a simple, straightforward, transparent price. Now you might be thinking, well, $197 per year, that's too expensive, but not really when you think about it. This is kind of similar to the $16 or $17 that Kanary was charging you anyway. Even more, even less than that. So hey, listen, it is what it is. What's important for you, you got to really see what works for you. But the billing for Privacy Bee is annual. They don't do a monthly, okay? So when you go with Privacy Bee, you have to sign up for an annual sort of subscription model. And so is it worth it? Definitely. When you think about $197 a year, and you are thinking about the kind of value that the Privacy Bee is adding to is bringing to the table, definitely worth it. I want to talk to you now about the features here. When you think about Privacy Bee, what kind of basic features can you really envision this year? Well, you have a lot of things. So, like other data removal services on the market, Privacy Bee actually starts off by letting you input your data and choose which companies can be trusted, and more importantly, which companies can't. Right, and from there, the fun begins. So, Privacy Bee will remove data, and will do so like on a consistent basis, okay? But just remember that once you have set up Privacy Bee and input, let's say, all of the relevant data, the removal service, the service will begin with the task of removing your data from 400 to 550 data brokers and people search websites, okay? And those are listed on Google, Yahoo, Bing, and so on and so forth. And so those are for the basic features. You also have some kind of advanced features, okay? So basically, when you think about advanced features, you have a vulnerability monitoring, which really scans the web to detect known threats and then provides a privacy risk score, telling you about recent data breaches and letting you configure how much protection you want from the service. You also have another advanced feature. That's a feature that's great when it comes to protecting family members alongside your account. So what happens here is that you have a central dashboard to add or remove new members, and letting users configure how much protection they want from the service. So that's kind of cool. And family members can also be granted permission to change those settings, and anyone will be given a personalized email to help manage their privacy. So that's kind of cool. On top of that, Privacy Bee also offers a number of enterprise features to protect businesses. So that's kind of cool, especially when it comes to protecting your business. And so support is really great. So customer support is really diverse through Privacy Bee. You have a lengthy FAQ. You have a Privacy Bee blog. You have a phone number. You have a chat. You have a live chat, and you have email also. That's really cool. The third player I want to share with you into this conversation here is DeleteMe. Okay, DeleteMe. Is it really worth it this year? Well, actually, DeleteMe. The full name here is Abine DeleteMe. So this is a service that lets you opt out from sites that collect and sell your data with using a combination of automation and direct human intervention. So that's kind of cool. And DeleteMe will set you back somewhere from $129 to $135 a year. So you can see that this is far lower than what Privacy Bee or even Kanary is charging you. So when you think about buying DeleteMe, here is a service that removes your personal data from aggregators, includes a temporary email address, offers instruction for free DIY removals, and can also, as a user, you can make custom removal requests, and DeleteMe will honor those requests. Okay. On the flip side, actually, DeleteMe removes data from fewer sites than many competitors, and reports only come out quarterly. So this is a bummer, because if you want to have a more regular updates, you're not having that through DeleteMe. Okay. But one thing for sure is that DeleteMe is actually the OG of personal data removal services, because it was conceived in 2010 and released in 2011. Okay, so this is kind of important because this is a pretty novel industry, only 15 years. Okay, and one thing I want to say here is that in terms of cost, you saw this on the screen. I want you to look at I want you to see on the screen here. I said this to you before, but I want to insist on that. So you have a multi-year protection for 2 years, one person, $871. So this is cheaper than the other players that I've shared with you. Okay, but remember that if you want to have DeleteMe, you want to really you want to insist on the fact that you are having more possibilities, and you have more possibilities in terms of like tracking the removal of your service. But DeleteMe overall is cheaper than other personal data removal services, including Opteri. By the way, Opteri charges you up to $249.99 per year for a top tier subscription, meaning the company handles all data cleanup activity for you. So, and Opteri actually offers a couple of other tiers where it actually removes, let's say, your data from sites and offers DIY instructions for others. So this goes right down to a free tier that reports where your data has been found, but leaves you to handle sending out opt-out requests. Now, it's one of those things where when you're thinking about it, you are actually trading your time to versus convenience, actually, and so you're letting DeleteMe do the job for you, but you are compensating them for that service, right? That's kind of cool, because it helps you actually get things done real fast, and that's what you want anyway. So when you think about DeleteMe, what kind of strategy should you have? Okay, let's talk about getting started with DeleteMe. So as with similar services, DeleteMe needs to collect your personal information so it can really seek that info on data aggregator websites, right? And so basically, the DeleteMe privacy policy clearly lays out exactly what data the company collects and exactly how it uses every kind of data. And so that's kind of cool. And so you have, so when you go through the process, pretty straightforward, nothing really complicated. DeleteMe collects your full name along with your any alternate names, email addresses, phone numbers, birth dates, and gender. You can also enter a couple current and previous addresses, so that's really good. And the DeleteMe dashboard is pretty straightforward, nothing really complicated here. Okay, so once you actually set up your DeleteMe subscription and fill out your personal data is actually just look at the dashboard. Okay, the dashboard will help you organize yourself. In terms of the number of sites that DeleteMe cleans up, it's not as many as the other players. Okay, now DeleteMe lists 750 data broker sites online, but in actuality, based on our investigation, they just do cleanup in around 300 to 350 and maximum 400. Okay, this is something to really think about. And one thing I want to say is that it really depends on what you're looking for. But DeleteMe can actually give you a monthly reports, quarterly reports, so that you are like kept abreast of what's really happening in terms of the progress. Okay, you are able also to fine tune your profile, so you have a clear idea what kind of profile you have and how DeleteMe is responding to that profile. Okay, you have also added security for your DeleteMe account, so that's kind of important. You have, for instance, multi-factor authentication. You have two-factor authentication. You also have bonus privacy features through DeleteMe, so that's really good. And the bottom line here is that you have all kinds of protection layers. So Kanary versus Privacy Bee versus DeleteMe, which one should you go for this year? Well, let me give you an overview about personal data removal services first before I dig a little deeper. It's important to understand that when you are looking for a personal data removal service, you have to really pay attention to the credibility of the company. Don't go for a company that has some kind of crappy credibility. So you want to read things like reviews, for instance, the overall feedback that you have from the company on social media, for instance. That plays an important role. So the credibility of the company is quite essential. You have to also think about enterprise readiness and security credentials. In other words, they are going to handle your data, so they might as well just be a little ready in terms of if something were to happen. Okay, you also have to think about the availability of self-service onboarding options, so that way sometimes you don't have to talk to someone in sales to start using the product, and you just want to be able to create an account and start using the product on your own immediately, right? And self-service actually is great because it allows customers to move quickly and efficiently. So that's kind of cool. And one thing I want to say also is that it allows you to know exactly what's working and what's not working. And you want to be able to speak with customer support, or you want to make sure that you also have a transparent pricing model. That's important, especially in the long run. You want to also think about a data removal service that has a broad coverage of data brokers. Like the more the better, right? You do not want to have 200 or 150 data brokers where the competition is actually browsing 900 or 1,000 data brokers. You want to make sure that when you actually when you get let's say a removal service, you want to really ask them if they have a frequent scanning, so that you do not just delete your data once and then to forget about it. You want to have this sort of a permanent action. So here's our pick here. Kanary versus Privacy Bee versus DeleteMe. Which one should you go for? Our answer is pretty simple. DeleteMe. DeleteMe is pretty good. It's been around for more than 15 years. It's crazy, and they have been doing great job so far. So here's a closure here to this conversation. I spoke to you about Kanary versus Privacy Bee versus DeleteMe. I give you some information about the removal services. I give you the overview, the pick, the closure. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.